How's it going, guys? It's Gregor, and in this video I'm going to be talking about how to kick ass with the Scharnhorst. I said I'd make a video about this lovely piece of work soon enough, and I assure you that it's been worth the wait. This is one hell of a ship. It has a near-perfect balance of firepower, maneuverability, and survivability with a very strong kit, too. So, KMS Scharnhorst was the lead ship out of two of the so-called Scharnhorst-class battleships, her sister ship, Gneisenau, being a part of the regular German battleship progression line at Tier 7. Scharnhorst in-game obviously paired at the same tier as a premium ship. They were the first capital ships built for Nazi Germany, and they paved the way for the nation's naval rearming after the Treaty of Versailles. They were armed with 280mm guns, with plans to put 380mm guns on them at some point in the future. The 380mm are mounted on Gneisenau in-game, whereas the 280mm are placed on Scharnhorst. During the Second World War, KMS Scharnhorst, alongside her sister ship, made several sorties into the Atlantic to raid British merchant routes. She had a pretty active service life and was responsible for sinking the aircraft carrier HMS Glorious during an engagement with HMS Renown, the battlecruiser, accompanied by Gneisenau. During this fight, Scharnhorst claimed one of the longest-range naval gunfire hits in history. When Gneisenau was damaged by an air raid in late 42, Scharnhorst joined Tirpitz in Norway to do some more convoy hunting, but was sunk by HMS Duke of York during the Battle of North Cape in late 43. Admiral Fraser, the captain of the force that sunk the Scharnhorst, following the battle's end, he remarked to his officers aboard Duke of York that, "I hope that if any of you are ever called upon to lead a ship into action against an opponent many times superior, you will command your ship as gallantly as Scharnhorst was commanded today." So there's your history lesson. So this warship in some ways has a lot to live up to in-game, and I promise you all that it certainly does. I love a ship like this because it can tackle just about every sort of circumstance that's thrown at it. It's a sniper shotgun combo, if I may. It can tear apart lightly armored cruisers from just about any range, and it's capable of brawling with battleships up close and personal given the right circumstances, especially when you make usage of this thing's torpedoes and a set of incredibly powerful secondary guns. And those secondaries also make very quick work of pesky destroyers that may try to ruin your day. The ship also lives up to its battleship classification with a sturdy set of armor that can ricochet high-caliber shells when angled right, although with this ship's broadside exposed in full, it is an easy target for HE spammers and hungry battleships, so that is something to be mindful of. Still though, angling this ship works well in combination with its very forward-facing torpedo arc, because it allows you to get up close and personal with a wide range of opponents. You can charge right at an enemy with an angle, and then hit them with torpedoes while you're broadsiding them along the way. You don't have to turn around and risk getting citadeled in order to fire your torpedoes, which is really, really good. And the ship's no slouch either. Top speed is 31.5 knots. The basic do's and don'ts, then, that I would suggest if you ever get a Scharnhorst yourself, is to take advantage of opportunities to dish out lots of damage when they present themselves. If you see an enemy cruiser's broadside, you can whack them out of the game with one carefully aimed salvo. Likewise, the Scharnhorst can operate effectively as an escort for bigger battleships, and it can keep destroyers away from your more sluggish allies. If all else fails, this ship can do a lot of heavy lifting on its own terms, as you can tell by the game I'm showing on screen right now. Now, I did end up getting sunk towards the end of the match, but I'd like to think that I contributed a good deal to the ultimate victory our team had, as you can see by the screen here. If you're on the receiving end of Scharnhorst, though, what I can advise you to do is basically first to understand what ship you're playing. If she's showing her broadside and you have some really high caliber guns, that's probably the quickest way to deal with this ship. If you're more relying on speed and faster firing guns, stay at a distance out of the ship's secondary gun range and zigzag enough to throw off the Scharnhorst player's aim. And, very importantly, don't show your broadside. Japanese destroyers that can snipe from a distance with their torpedoes are better off combating this warship too. Be mindful of them, rather than destroyers that rely more on rapidly firing torpedoes up close. Got all that? Alright, I'll finish up the video with upgrading captain skill suggestions. So, my preferred way of using Scharnhorst is to get the most out of its main guns at range. So, with 4 upgrade slots, my loadout consists of main armaments, aiming systems, damage control system 1, and damage control system 2. Obviously, you can curtail this to your preference, but this is just something that I like to do myself. With those last 2 upgrades, you'd be surprised how much punishment this ship can take from torpedoes and pesky HE spammers, though. I'm only at the 3rd tier of captain skills right now at the time of making this video, but you can't go wrong with most of what's available here. I start out with survivability, then fire prevention, then vigilance. Afterward, you can get whatever the hell you want, really. Manual secondary armament control and manual AA control are both great options to get some way down the line. Expert marksman and superintendent are also good options. Just use your head and don't get anything like aircraft servicing expert for obvious reasons. KMS Scharnhorst is a solid Tier 7 premium battleship that can pump out credits like nobody's business. She's a suitable buy for anyone who likes a style of play warranted with German battleships in general. And at $43, that's pretty pricey, but I can't really complain myself. After all, since I got this ship from a subscriber. Shout out to Denmark Radar. Thanks a lot, man. This video wouldn't have happened without you. If you like this video, be sure to subscribe for more World of Warships content like this in the future if you're new here, as well as share the video with your friends. Really does go a long way. Coming up next for my warship stuff is an overview of the recently announced Royal Navy cruiser line, so stay tuned for that. Until then, I'm Gregor. Thanks so much for watching.